Welcome to this week's episode of Humans in 5.
This week, we're having an adult chat about a new phenomenon that's been taking over the internet. Earlier this year, the online pornography giant Pornhub stunned the world with an unusual announcement. Pornhub decided that in addition to their adult content, they were going to introduce a website about sexual education?
Pornhub's Sexual Wellness Center has actually received some acclaim since it launched earlier this year. The real question is, why is a porn website trying to provide sex ed?
While some people found Pornhub's announcement shocking, a lot of young people weren't surprised by the idea of using the internet to learn more about sex. A survey conducted by the UK's National Union of Students, or NUS, found that 60% of those surveyed watch porn to learn about sex.
A lot of students turn to porn and the internet because they're left a little disappointed by the sex ed they receive in schools. Most sex ed programs, if they're taught at all, tend to focus on the biology of sex. Topics like contraception, sexually transmitted infections, and anatomy are discussed.
However, students and sexual health researchers note that this information is often inaccurate or incompletely discussed. The content isn't standardized, so students may have vastly different experiences in different schools. For example, in the United States, only 13 states require sexual education to be medically accurate.
Also, most students have concerns about sex and sexuality that are never discussed in the classroom. For example, students surveyed wanted to learn more about consent and how to tell if a relationship is healthy and safe rather than abusive. Young people want to hear more about love and intimacy, setting boundaries, LGBT issues, and how to make decisions about their own bodies. Respondents in the NUS survey noted that these topics were never discussed for 50 to 75% of respondents.
Since students don't hear about these topics in the classroom, many turn to their peers. For example, one of the top sources of sexual and relationship advice students receive are their own new partners. Many young people are concerned about asking their friends for advice since they don't want to seem out of the loop, and lots of people find the topic a little too personal to discuss with their parents. Those who feel they don't have anyone to turn to head online, and until now, porn was the only place they could look.
Porn is not a great source of information regarding issues like sexuality, consent, and healthy relationships, or any topics relating to health and safety. Porn actors are sexual athletes putting on a show. There's a reason it's called adult entertainment and not adult education programming. Students don't need to be told this, though. 75% of the British students surveyed acknowledge that porn is not realistic, but many still feel that they have nowhere else to turn.
Porn actors and executives have been getting wind of these tales from young adults wishing to learn more about sexual health, and many have decided to help fill the gaps students are noticing in their education. Pornhub are not trying to use porn to teach about health and relationships. They've recruited medical experts on human sex and sexuality, including famed sexual health specialist Dr. Lori Petito, to write their content.
And they're working to include information about consent, relationship safety, and other topics that students want to know. No one, including the porn industry, wants young people using porn as an instructional manual. Ironically enough, kids that hear more about sexual health and sexuality are likely to delay sexual activity and be more likely to be safe and responsible when they do the deed.
We hope all of you are working to stay informed and well educated about sex and sexuality, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
Don't forget to subscribe!